How to connect any phone or tablet to your TV using USB. By Christian Colley. Updated 3 days ago. Wondering how to join your smartphone to a TV the use of USB? Here's how to join your Android or iPhone to a TV with a USB cable. Connect smartphone, tablet, TV. Connecting a telephone to your TV is not as easy as you would possibly think. Whether you prefer to enjoy Netflix, share photos, or use it for domestic working, hooking up a cable between your cell phone and TV can be tricky. But it is no longer impossible. It's all a count of choosing the proper cable. Here's what you want to be aware of about how to join an Android or iOS cell phone or pill to a TV the use of a USB cable. NaturePeopleCityTechAb video of the day. With the ease and occurrence of casting to replicate a smartphone display wirelessly, you would possibly be curious why you must use a USB to TV connection for your phone. If you hook a smartphone to your TV with a hardwired connection, you advantage from a low latency signal. For instance, if you diagram to reflect your smartphone to a TV for gaming, you will choose a USB connection as an alternative than a Wi-Fi configuration. This vastly reduces lag. The identical goes for gazing films on a TV over a USB cable from the phone. To join your smartphone or pill to a TV, you can use one of the following methods. Android, USB-C cable with DisplayPort, USB cable with MHL, USB cable with slim port, iPhone, iPad, Lightning cable. How you join your cell phone to the TV relies on your particular gadget and working system. Although all strategies are similar, the manner differs for connecting an iPhone versus an Android device. Similarly, your connection approach varies relying on your needs. Simply viewing snapshots on a well-suited TV requires your charging cable and cellular device. But for display screen mirroring, you will want a USB adapter. Note that for USB connections between a smartphone and TV, the mannequin of TV should not matter. However, the steps beneath outlining how to join your telephone to a TV follow to Samsung, LG, and many different manufacturers. Better still, the identical steps can be used to join a telephone to non-smart TV. How to connect Android phones and tablets.